Thorsten Bauer, ONLYGLASS, a German media facade manufacturer and partner of this year's Media Architecture Biennale, could win you as a keynote speaker in Aarhus. What will be the topic of your presentation?
Well, actually, I think that URBANSCREEN takes a little bit special part in this whole field of media architecture. We really have an artistical approach and come from the content side. So the past years we developed highly artistically driven temporary installations on architectures, projection mappings, but we more and more conquered also the topic of permanent installation of media architecture. And I think that we have, through our experience of temporary installations and developing content which specifically is related to a certain architecture, we have a specific point of view of this whole topic. And I'd like to show some works of us and show with that mainly our standpoint, how we think content for permanent installation should be developed, or our specific view how it should be developed, and see this whole development more from an artistical standpoint, and try to translate these ideas of the last years into permanent installation like media architectures.
That's a key word for you, media architecture. What do you mean with that?
I mean, media architecture, basically we're in a very interesting point of time when it comes to architecture, because the architectures start to move. It's for thousands of years we planned static architectures, and now with the technology of media architecture, architecture can change the color, the shapes over time. And I think that we really have to make our mind how to deal with that technology, especially in terms of over-information of the public space. And there, of course, lots of critical points you can point out in this development. And we really have to figure out a clever way how to deal with media facades and permanent installation of media in the urban space.
We are here right now in the very center of Bremen. Your company, URBANSCREEN, is also based in Bremen. You are the creative director of URBANSCREEN. In which projects did you already implement mediatecture?
Actually, there's a project right now going on. We won an architecture competition in 2012, and it's the Clubhaus Hamburg. It's a new building in the Reeperbahn, quite prominent place, and also a place where you really can play out the power of media facade, because it's a kind of party situation there, so the nightlife is very active there. And this will be premiere in summer of 2015. So this was the very concrete point where we figured out new concepts for that. But other projects are that we are also consulting companies when it comes to media facade in terms of content, or even take place in research programs like the Brennerei, where it's more a think tank about like this topic in general. So different approaches, and one very concrete approach with the Clubhaus in Hamburg.
Mediatecture, that means always redefinition of public space, and also it means society must be ready for that and must accept these new architecture and new urban development, let's say. And in Germany, one can get the impression that architecture sometimes lacks the courage to get new ground there. And certainly, if you compare with Denmark or with the Netherlands, what is your opinion about that? What are your experiences with URBANSCREEN?
I mean, there's a very strong tradition in architecture here in Germany. Not that there isn't in Netherlands or Denmark, and also a very big of theoretical thinking about architecture. And I think that the scene itself has to be convinced about this movement. And I mean, we're thinking about a huge change in architecture, because thousands of years the planners of architecture planned static buildings that didn't change over time, and now we have to integrate this time thinking that architectures basically can change. And this is a huge task for a rethinking of architecture, and this obviously and must take time do this in a clever and intelligent way. And I think that yeah, I mean, Germany is a country that it's not like maybe in the first row of these developments, but still there's a huge discussion going on, and huge new concepts are right now discussed and developed. So I wouldn't say that Germany is like in the back row of that, but still it needs time to be convinced that this could be one part of the future of architecture.
In this context, what does an event and a conference like the Media Architecture Biennale in Aarhus mean for you? What do you expect going to Aarhus?
I'm very excited on the first hand, because this whole topic is so new that we really work at the borderline of what it's done yet. And so in this such a symposium, there are different thoughts, different people coming to one place and share their minds and opinion in a topic or in a field of architecture that is really the borderline of development there. And so I think I hope to hear different opinions, different views on this topic, that manufacturers and even artists come together and discuss how the future of media architecture will develop. And I think this will be yeah, exciting meeting point and melting point.
Okay, thank you very much, Thorsten, and looking very much forward to see you again and to meet you again in Aarhus.
Yeah, me too, and yeah, we will see.